Welcome to Well Coached, the podcast where we talk about how people, sales, profit, and self come together to grow a business that actually works. I'm Chris Weinberg. I've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs into their highest productivity zone by helping them get just corporate enough to lead with clarity, build with purpose, and scale with confidence. Let's dive in. Hey team, welcome back to Well Coached with Chris Weinberg. I'm your host, Chris, and this is part 2 of our December year-end series. Today, we're going to talk about sales, and I've got a simple question to kick it off. What worked for you in 2025? What didn't work? And do you know why? Do you know why things worked? Sales is absolutely the engine that powers your business. But it's also the part that most founders try to delegate too early or run too loose. Here's what I mean by that. There's so many books and leaders or, coaches or seminars out there that say, replace yourself as the founder, CEO who's generating most of the sales. I'll tell you what I find in actuality. As the CEO or founder pushes things down the org chart, one of the last things that I see successfully pushed down the org chart is revenue generation. As the founder and CEO, you are the one that absolutely understands the value, the product, and usually are the best one to explain that or pitch that to prospective customers and clients. Delegating that too soon is tricky business. I mean, especially if you're a young founder and you're getting yourself up to speed, you've got to generate revenue. You're the prime one and the most motivated to do that. It'd be one of the last things that I got rid of, to be honest with you. And I see companies that are multi-million dollar companies where the CEO founder is still the primary revenue generator. And if that's what they're focused on versus all of the other things, that's totally fine. They've got time to do it. And then time to bring people along on their team slowly, getting reps in over the course of time, getting institutional knowledge over time before you delegate your sales strategy down the line too far. Hopefully this year you got consistent managing pipeline reviews, right? If you've got a pipeline, lots of folks have a pipeline and they don't do anything with it or don't know how to understand it or how to read it. Maybe you launched a new offer only to discover that people weren't ready to buy your new thing. That's okay too. We call that test fast, fail fast, and adjust fast. Particularly when you've got a core product or a core service that you're offering, and that's the engine. We all want to start trying new things, and that's okay as long as the core engine is still being looked after, because that's what's fueling your ability to try the new things. How about that rainmaker rep? Some of us have rainmaker reps out there that bring in money, they hit quotas every month, but they're horrible on the team environment. Maybe they leave the team off in a worse place than when they started. Culture becomes an issue. Those are tricky things to deal with. And there's two sides of that coin. One would say, I've got a rainmaker, let that person go do whatever they want, and to heck with everybody else. And then it wreaks havoc throughout the organization. You may have sales for a while, but everybody starts leaving, so you can't support the sales. The other side of that coin is no matter how good the salesperson is or the rainmaker is, if they don't fit your culture, they just can't stay on the team. And those are debates, man. I could debate you either side of those coins, but be conscious of that. If you've got that special rainmaker, that's probably a favorite employee of yours. But also gut check to make sure, are they healthy for the entire environment of your organization? This time of year, I ask questions of my clients, a few of these. Where are your leads coming from? And where should they come from 2026? How are we hunting? I like to think of sales opportunities and sales leads in terms of wells. And these wells, when you hit on one, it's like an oil well. They start spewing. They get really good for a while, so we get comfortable in one silo. But then those wells tend to run dry at some point. Are you looking for your next well? Are you trying to be in front of that? If your well has run dry, are you doubling down on the same behavior that got you to this well in the first place? Or are you going, hey, it's time for me to move over here? If you're looking for a great book on this, Who Moved My Cheese is a great one, right? When the cheese runs out, you got to go find the new block of cheese so you can continue to eat. Same thing in sales deals. What about sales behaviors? Are you consistent? What's random? Do we have a sales rhythm? Do we have drip campaigns where we're checking in on customers nonstop, or are we just taking no for face value? Or if someone didn't answer our email, we just move on. I read something this year, well, several years ago, you used to hear that folks aren't seeing messages or seeing your email or your inbound message unless they see it 7 to 11 times. That's a lot. That's a ton of times to knock on someone's door. And then I also read that most salespeople give up on about the 5th attempt of trying to reach someone, where if they would have statistically stayed in the game and gone for 7 through 11, they would have had a much better shot. Recently, I read an article that said that now it takes over 30 times, which I hope that that's an outlier and hope that that's not correct. But the point here is you just don't give up too soon. You never assume that just because you did an outbound message and did not get a response, that means no. Because statistically, if you haven't done it 7 to 11 times, the person you're trying to contact is not even seeing it, not even reading the message. So do not make assumptions that they don't want to be with you. With your sales team, do you have weekly sales meetings? Are you checking in? Are you using a CRM that's telling you the truth? Is it well populated to give you unshakable facts? And then are your offers, are they clear? Sometimes sales, we get a little too cute. We keep trying to find new ways or tag on new offers and create if-then scenarios, and we start putting the customer through too many hoops to buy things. Keep it simple, stupid. What are we selling? And make it super easy for your clients to write you a check. Never make it hard for people to give you money. That could be in the way you take forms of payment, but it can certainly also be in what you're selling and is the offer super clear. What I want you to think about is that sales isn't just about hustle. It's about a specific, well thought out rhythm. Great sales teams have structure. They track metrics, they review progress weekly, and they build accountability. But they also have creativity. Right? They find new ways to connect with customers. Back to that test fast, fail fast, adjust fast. When you've got a product to sell, you've got a problem until you've sold it. Well, how do we solve problems? We try new things. And if one thing doesn't work, we try the next things. Some folks do want to be contacted by text, some by email, some are still face-to-face. You know what I'm seeing a lot of now? Going back to analog, printed pieces that people can pick up and take with them. Mail has become a thing again. The key here is continually to try new things. Don't get stuck in one lane. Constantly follow up. And then rehearse your shtick. Role play within your team. How are we selling? Get feedback from each other before you even go out and start knocking on doors. This helps build your competence, your confidence, and the belief in what you're doing. And finally, if things underperformed in 2025, don't shame yourself. Study it. The journey of entrepreneurship is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, you're going to have peaks and valleys. Get curious of what are these numbers telling me? How can we do better? Pull your numbers. What story are they telling? Are we solving the right problem for the right price and for the right customer? If not, that's okay. No big deal. You learned. But let's adjust and try something new for 2026. Next week, we're going to move into profit because let's be honest, sales without profit is just stress. So until then, go back, start reviewing 2025. Let's start thinking about 2026 and stay well coached. That's it for today. Thanks for being here. I hope something in this conversation sparked a new idea or gave you a little clarity. We'll be back next week to keep digging into what it means to lead well, grow smart, and build something that lasts. Until then, stay well coached.